It's time to embrace it. The Community Podcast, exploring the intricacies of personal growth, mental health, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Topics tailored for a global audience. Now, let's talk about it with your host, Bracy Goodwin.
Good day to everybody. Good day to everybody that is joining in today. I want to say hello to everyone that has been a part of the Embrace It Community Podcast for some time now. And I just made a post earlier yesterday. I think I did it yesterday when I was just going back in the archives. And I looked back over a year in July when I first got started with the Embrace It Community Podcast thought, and how this thing was supposed to go. It really didn't start going live like this until I think I saw one right before the holidays. So yeah, November, December, but really the whole idea of putting this thing together started back in July 2024. So I'm excited to still be here. So I put in my Facebook page something about, I need everybody that has been viewing, that has been sharing, that has been liking, and even if you don't like it, to subscribe to the YouTube channel. The Embrace It Community Podcast YouTube channel is up on your screen. So what I need you to do me a favor. This doesn't cost you anything but a follow. Go ahead and follow the Embrace It Community Podcast on YouTube, please. Would y'all do me a favor, please, and just follow that? And it means a lot, because here's what happened in the podcast world, I would say. The more followers you have, the more opportunities that I will have to get some advertisement and some sponsors and, more people to follow. I have followers following me, yes, in Nairobi, Kenya, in Pakistan, and in the Dominican Republic. And they're sharing the world. They are sharing it all over. They're sharing it and they're liking it and they're following it, but I need my people who've been on my page, my 874 Facebook friends that I have. So this will be a telltale of who are really your friends, if they really are your friends, if they would just go ahead and follow your page and help you out on the YouTube. So I'm asking everybody, I'm taking the time out before I get started with everything today, just to ask people to do this. So I need your support. I need your support to follow me on YouTube. Will you do that for me today? The chat's going to be open as well. So if you're having a problem finding the link, please put a message in the chat and ask, if you need help finding it, we'll send the link right directly to you. So please, I want you to follow this YouTube Embrace It Community Podcast, because it means a lot to me and it means a lot to the podcast. Like I said, this is not easy. This is not an easy thing to do. Within the year's time, when I reflect back and I look back over everything, there were times where I was saying I didn't want to do this anymore. But because of the encouragement that I've had by so many people, my children, my producer, and those that really, 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 really love me, say, no, this is great. I'm hearing it from my family members, my cousin, one who really inspired me, my cousin, Darren Malachi. He really, really inspired me. My other friends that watch it at my church, Kevlin Bowles, he pushed me, man, to do this as well. Keep going, my brother. He chimes in and he watches and he says, man, keep doing it. So I have more people encouraging me to do this than I have to deal with just myself in my own mind saying why. So I'm asking everybody, just keep following, keep following this. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate everything that you say. I appreciate the emails that I've been getting. There is an email address as well, that if you want to share some ideas, if you want to share some comments, and you can drop us in the email at embraceitcommunitypodcast@gmail.com. resilient.com. That is the email address. And then there's also the Cash App. And I don't speak too much on that, but there is a Cash App. It's $ Bracy Goodwin IV the fourth, if you want to take advantage of that. But there's also a way that you can donate to this fantastic podcast that I have, Buy Me a Coffee. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. Take a copy of that link or write it down where you can go in there and actually buy me a cup of coffee. There are different prices in there. I think when I did it once, it said $24, but you don't have to do $24. You can do $3. You can do $2 that you want to donate to the Embrace It Community Podcast. So buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee / Embrace It. So that's where you will find me at there. So, all right. So enough of that stuff. But thank you all. Like I said, thank you all for following. Thank you all for listening in. As you all know, I am a big advocate for suicide prevention. And I talk about that every single time I get a chance. I think about it and I talk about it. And I make sure that everybody that I come in contact, when I say to them, hey, how you doing? If they say, okay, I ask them, how are you really doing? Because there are a lot of people in our community that's struggling mentally, dealing with things. Yes, last month was Men's Mental Health Awareness. I got a text yesterday from a follower in the Columbus, Ohio area. And let me see if I can pull that up right here. I shared the page. She said, I had 2 separate men break down on me with each of them with these concerns. And it has a lot to do with things that they experience as young men. And believe it or not, even though we talked about the sexual abuse on boys, there's still a lot of boys, young men dealing and struggling with the reality about this here topic. And like I said, I got this yesterday through a text from a good friend who follows and watches. Her name is Nicole, and she asked me to share the link to the Embrace It Community Podcast. So if you are watching young guys, if you are watching young men, if you are watching, there's help. There is help. And listen, you don't have to think that it's just about suicide when you call 988, because it's not about that only. There are other hotlines out there, right? My producer will put the other hotline about sexual abuse. There is a hotline for sexual abuse as well, so that you can just talk to somebody that don't know you, that's not in your circle, that's not going to judge you or anything like that. So there is information available to you for that as well. So I am constantly thinking and praying for people that are constantly reaching out to me. So like I always say, if I can reach somebody with a word, my living's not in vain. So there are a lot of people that I know out in the community crying for help. We struggle with so much every day. Every day we struggle with trying to make it in today's society. And this is why I picked this topic today. And it's talking about what is real living? What is real living, people? What does that look like to you? What is real living? Somebody please chime in on this, and we need to talk about this. Sonia, good evening. Good to see you as well. But this topic, what is real living? And the problem that I'm noticing, that what social media has done, it has stripped you away from reality. And so this real living thing, what does that look like? What is that supposed to be? What does that look like to you? So I'm going to open up the chat room as well. And I need you all to jump in and so we can talk about this. But I do have a co-host, but I got some information I want to talk about first before I get my co-host in here. So that's why I got my music going on in the background. So, I don't like dead air. So that's why I do what I do. So listen, so there are some topics, there's some points, some bullet points that I want to make about this real living topic. So let's look at this. Okay. So when you strip away social media expectations and what others think you should be doing, what makes you feel most alive? What is that? So say, for example, I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up in the social media, right? So this is all new to me, and I promise you, social media does not make me or break me. But when you're doing podcasts or you're doing anything like that, yes, it does help you there. But I'm not trying to be like anybody else. And so the other question I have for people that are going to be watching this: is there a difference between existing and living? Okay, what creates the distinction for you if you know the difference between the two? Are you existing or are you living? Some people are just existing, they're just here. Some people don't even know why they wake up in the morning, because as soon as they wake up, they're faced with the same thing they went to bed with. So there's a lot of things that go on in a lot of people's minds. So we're going to touch on this. Okay. But think of a moment when you felt completely authentic and what was going on, what was happening in your life. Um, so if I had to tap on this last one, think of a moment when you felt completely authentic and what was happening in my life. Man, it's hard to pinpoint, but I would have to say accomplishing my degrees. And here's why. Because I grew up in a time where it was rough. Father was an alcoholic, and I've talked about that. PTSD from the Marines. And so now I'm growing up in a house with my mother and a stepfather. So they constantly beat me over the head with, you're no good, you're just like. And so growing up from the age of accountability when this all started, which was about 12 or 13 years old, all the way up into my 20s, man, I had no identity. I had no idea who I was, what I was supposed to be doing as a man, as a father, as a brother. I had no clue. And I'm constantly looking and watching people to find out what this looks like and who I can say, oh, okay, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So I started finding myself trying to find positive role models to do this thing with. So I have these questions up here, and I want people to jump in. I want people to jump in on this. Shan, how you doing? Hello, good evening. I want you all to jump in on this conversation because we're talking about real living. So we're talking about you. What does real living look like? So when you're not on social media, if you're not that person that social media junkie, you got to get up every day and be on social media. Hopefully that's not you, because you're not living, you're existing. So if you have an issue with that, let's talk about it and let's get you some help, because some people just do it out of habit now, don't even realize that they're doing it. They get so complacent in picking up their phone first thing in the morning. As soon as they open up their eyes, that's the first thing they do before they tell God, thank you. Okay. So modern manifestation. Now, social media comparison culture, that thing is huge there. And social media is so ugly today, the stuff that I've been seeing. And we'll talk about that later too. Lifestyle, inflation, spending more than you earn. There are a lot of people that's doing that. We all have things that we like, but are we spending more as you earn? Are you really understanding what that looks like? And then we're going to talk about debt accumulation for appearances. So you're doing all of this. You're going into debt. You're buying this car. You're buying everything that you see. You're using your credit cards. You're maxing out your credit cards. Some people don't even care. You got your cell phone bill. You got your light bill. You got your water bill. You got your rent to pay. Now you got your car insurance. And now you have your credit cards to pay. All right. So a whole lot of things are going on. And it makes you wonder, are you existing or are you living? All right. So what about some career choices based on prestige or over passion? All of these things have to deal with real living, parenting decisions driven by competitive cultures. There are some parents that are out here trying to make decisions based upon the things that the culture is showing them. And then our children are coming back with the need. I want, can I have, I want. Oh, there's so much stuff that goes on when it comes out, but real living, let's talk about real living. Okay, so here's the current reality. The current reality is this. Many of us have less than $100,000 saved for retirement. Less than that. So, and that, unfortunately, this is because of the times that we're living in. Healthcare costs consuming larger portions of the fixed incomes. I don't know about you, but when you have, yourself or you have your family package, that package now is astronomical. I've seen it and I'm grateful I don't need it any longer, but I've seen it happen. What about the Social Security providing only 30 to 40% of pre retirement income for our seniors? What is that? What is that? There were a time where seniors was doing fine off of Social Security, but not anymore. I've seen it by working with the Department of Job and Family Services. I've seen it where so many seniors are not able to make it on just one Social Security check. And so if the other party happens to get become ill and you can no longer uh, take care of them or dependent or anything like that, then you have to put them into some type of assisted living. So that's now going to take that other half of the Social Security money that you both were relying on to make it in one household. And I'm not talking about a house, we're talking about trying to rent an apartment. So there's a real struggle going on when we're talking about what is real living. Traditional pensions largely extinct and outside of government jobs. And what does that pension look like? Now, if you didn't jump into something that you were blessed enough to do and starting from the age of 20, 19, 20 years old, do you really have a large enough pension to help you to sustain you once you do decide to get to that age of retirement? So all of these things are going to be discussed today. So real living, what are we doing about this real living? Are we living today? So I got a co-host that I decided to bring back, and I've watched her and we talk constantly. And I watch her, she watched my page and I watch her page. Could y'all do me a favor and welcome my co-host for me, Margaret Mells, and she's coming in once again right here in the heart of Texas, somewhere in Texas. Where you at in Texas again? Texas is so big. Where are you in Texas? Tell the people where
I'm
you
I'm in
are in Texas.
I'm in Haslett.
Okay, okay, all right,
Haslett,
yeah,
the short divided Fort Worth, Haslett.
okay. Oh, okay, okay. So you're not that far. You're not that
No,
far from me, which is good, which is good. So yeah, so let's do this. Let's go talk about this. Let me drop this music out of here. Now we can dig into some stuff. We're going to talk about some stuff. And I got some people here messaging as well that they're watching in on. So real living. We were talking before we came on, right? We were talking about how it used to be growing up in the 60s and 70s and even some of the
yes,
80s.
yes,
There was no, I don't,
yes.
was it because we were young? We didn't think there was a struggle going on? Or with our
Now,
parents
see,
kinda,
I was about to say that
okay,
it was because we were young. We weren't involved in parent business, paying the bills, paying utilities and all of that, and struggling to get food. There were 10 in my household, 10
10.
siblings,
Wow.
and we never knew we were poor.
Right.
We never
Nobody
knew
ever
we were
said we were
poor.
poor.
All we
Right.
knew about is going outside because we got
That's true. That's true. We
having
couldn't
fun,
wait.
coming
We
back
couldn't
in,
wait.
we got to do
Right.
our chores on Saturday.
Saturday, you got up.
Could
We talked
not
about
wait.
this in the
Since
barbershop
one
Saturday morning.
room to
Yeah. 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 All of the things that we did on a Saturday
yeah,
morning, got up and did our chores and watched a little bit of cartoons, but couldn't wait till Soul Train came on, and that was it. And
ah,
our parents went to the grocery store and they bought what they were able to buy, but we were having such a good time.
that's
So
right.
real living. Now, I started noticing some things in my parents when I started getting a little bit older, I would say 16, 17. And so they had friends that were doing pretty well. One had a pool, you know, in their backyard, and
Yeah,
the other one were friends or cousins of theirs. But we
yeah,
still we still shared everything. Everybody was like, "Come on over, get in the pool, bring the kids," and everybody
yes,
chipped in on the food, but we were having fun. And I don't think,
yeah.
and I think this is my opinion. We can challenge people that's listening in. Has social media really damaged today's society? Has it damaged it?
Almost definitely. Most definitely. You know what? When you started mentioning mentioning social media, immediately what came to my mind, social media is designed to take us further and further and further away from our design purpose, period. You know,
Wow. Wow.
what God designed us for, the purpose that He put in each and every one of us. You whether you're an atheist or you just don't believe in God, you still have a purpose. And guess where you got the purpose from? You got it from God. So most people are filling their selves up with social media and things, whether it's materialistic things, whether it's with a bunch of friends and or social media trying to be relevant, all of that. None of that matters.
It doesn't matters. It
None
doesn't
of
matter.
it,
It doesn't
and none
matter.
of it is real living. None of it is real living.
Right.
Real living
Right.
to me now is different for everybody. You stated what real living, was for you. But and there's nothing wrong with us. Um, we're supposed to take pride in what we've accomplished. You
Right.
know, we're
Right. Right. Right.
supposed to take some type of pride in what we accomplished. But real living now for me, and for those who are, let me say, on this journey for Christ, we can't leave Christ out of living
Correct. Okay.
because He's the giver. So it's walking in your purpose. First of all, there's so many of us walking around. We're walking around here like the Walking Dead. It's
Right.
walking in your purpose. It's being free from fear, free from being ashamed, free from toxic cycles. It's choosing peace over pressure. We already know what type of pressure. It's every day you wake up. There's some type of pressure going
Some
on.
type of pressure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So there's some comments in here, and I want to go back to the very first one. And we can touch on these because I'm just now seeing them on my phone. Let's see. When I share the call purpose. Okay. When I answered the call, purpose in my life, I switched careers from corporate America to public school educator. And see, now that person, Cecilia, was tired of corporate America and she didn't feel like she was living. So she had to tap into what
Come
her
on.
purpose was, and she switched from corporate America, probably making so much more money. And you correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong, Cecilia. I'm watching you. Thank you for joining and saying that. And now you have become a public school educator.
Which
You
has
dealing
purpose
with
behind
it
it.
has purpose, but corporate America has the money, but that's
Yeah.
not what this is all about. It's about living your purpose.
It's
Your
living your
purpose.
purpose. It's also thriving instead of just surviving. What are we thriving in?
Right. What are we
What are
thriving?
we succeeding in?
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
sure since she found her purpose, she's exceeding in what she's doing.
Yes. And she said here, she said, and now that the big, beautiful bull is making major cuts into the benefits, it's a struggle now because of what he's doing with the Department of Education and the benefits that they had. So it's and I
Yeah.
do believe, if Cecilia, if you don't mind me saying, Cecilia's retired. She's retired from Dallas ISD, but she's still
Oh,
doing it, as a what they call it, as a substitute teacher. But the budget
okay.
cuts, it's not allowing you to really fully retire and sit back and say, I made it. It's
Yeah.
not happening. And so now, Aquanetta says, my most authentic moment is when I accepted who God said I am versus what I had been told and taught by the world, as she said, the world. Real living is
That's the
accepting the reality of where you and knowing that you have the ability and the opportunity to create a different and better life for yourself and those you love. Yes, yes, yes. I totally agree. You
actually,
gotta
actually,
tap into God. Come on now. I ain't preaching. Marcus is on here.
him out of it. We cannot leave. He is the creator. He is the
Yeah,
creator. So we can't leave him out of it.
we can't
He
leave him
knows us
out of here.
better than we know ourselves.
Yeah.
That
Did you
person hit
see?
the
Yeah, did you see my show? I had Marcus on here, Life After Incarceration. Marcus Cooks is on here, man. I love this brother. He was on here today. And we talking about a brother that was facing more time probably than he had on this earth. But God,
oh,
but God stepped in, and he is now a living testimony of life after incarceration. Thank you, Marcus, for being on here. Thank you, thank you, thank
thank
you.
you, Mom.
Man, but this is what we're talking, and this is what we're trying to get people to understand. Stop focusing on social media, please. That social media, I wish people would also stop, but that's another subject. I don't want to go there. We're putting all a business on social media. I'm not gonna go there. That's another subject. But we're talking about real living.
You know, because Jesus said in John 10 and 10 that I came that you may have life, but not just to live, that you may have it abundantly.
Can you read
Well,
that
you
again?
know,
Can you say that again? Say that again. Say that again.
Jesus
Jesus.
came, he said, he came that we may have life, not just to live, and that you may have that life, the life that he's given you more abundantly. That means overflowing. Abundance is overflowing. It ain't about having more stuff. It's not about having more money. It's not about even becoming more relevant. It's about having more of him. And once we have more of him, then we can do, he said, greater things you will do.
Yeah. I
Greater. You
believe
will
that.
do
I believe
greater.
that. I
But
believe that.
But for
Yeah.
what purpose? It's not for you to sit back and it's just your four and no more and live comfortably.
Right.
No,
Right. So
not real life.
real life is not about having things. Real life is having a relationship with God, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Because if you got a relationship with God, everything else is going to go well. Oh, you're going to have tests and trials, but you got God in your life. You're going to have some problems. Some kids,
Right?
your kids ain't going to want to get right. But I speak to some people all the time. Darlena, Graham, we talk about this all the time with our daughter. Look, if this is the direction she's going in, we got to have peace in
Yes.
spite of the direction that she decided to choose
Yes.
with her life. We
Yes.
have to have peace
We got to have
because
peace. And
we
you know
got
that is part of life, real living.
real
That
living.
part of what real living is. The world is in such chaos and in such a chaotic state. There's always something happening in every area and relationship of living
That's
right now.
right. That's right.
If
That's right.
you don't have the real peace of God within you, I'm not talking about having peace you got peace only when you're in your environment. That I call that environmental peace.
You're right. Right. That's
It,
true.
it does you no good
Right. Right.
because situations pop up. What you gonna do? Are you still gonna hold on to the peace that you think you have? No, this is inner peace that we need.
There are people, and I watch them on my Embrace the Community podcast. I think his name is Larry Brown. Him and his wife, and his wife always saying, "Say amen." Somebody they sold their house in a part of Georgia where everybody was living because everybody was living, and they sold their house and they went and bought some land far away they out, and now they got goats, they got chickens, they got cows, and they work it every day. But you know what? They got peace because they're doing what they enjoy.
They're doing what they enjoy. Don't get me wrong. God takes pleasure in our prosperity, is what the Bible says, right?
True, true, true.
But with the intention of serving others. Why do
Right,
you why do you want to be successful? Why do
right,
you want to live in prosperity?
right.
What purpose? We got all kind of crazy ideas.
Sure do, sure do.
Or
Yeah,
why we want more money, or why we want to live prosperous. We got all kind of crazy ideas. But like I said, it's not just for you and your four and no more.
Right, right. Remember the you ever I talked about this earlier today, the saying that everybody used to say, "Oh, you wanna live like the Joneses." Everybody
Right.
used to wanna live like the Joneses, which refers to a social pressure to match or exceed the lifestyle, possessing, and a status symbol of your neighbors,
Right.
friends, social circles. It's a constant comparison game. You're constantly comparing yourself to the Joneses, where your worth feels tied to having the newest car. You gotta
Yeah.
have the newest car, you gotta have
Come
the
on.
biggest
Come on.
house, the
Come
largest gadgets, and the
on.
most impressive vacation spot. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
That's it. Yeah.
But
We,
you're
we,
not living. You're really you may think you're living, but I don't believe that's living. That I don't want all of that.
you
I
know,
don't want
I got to tell you this. Years and years, years ago, I have one sister. She works real hard, but one day she got on Facebook and she said, "I'm living my best life." Okay, and I
okay.
responded. Her best life, because I wanted to know where her head was. Her best life was, I got a 55, 65-inch TV. I bought a brand new car. I got a good job. I got 4 boyfriends. And that's her best life.
I guess that's her best life. 4 boyfriends. Oh my gosh.
4 boyfriends. That's her best life. And I
Mm.
was like, wow, really?
Wow. 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 Some
Living
people
living your best life is living life with intention of serving others. It's living with direction, with intention, using your gifts, using your calling to serve, to create, to grow. Like the young man said, he said something about he's able to create.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
stuck with me.
Yeah, yeah. People are able to have peace, but like I said, by stepping away from all that money and success or that corporate, because I know this for a fact. The more money you make, the more headaches that's gonna follow right behind that. Because I had a job with 6 figures, making 6 figures, and I thought I was the man, and everything was just fine. But there were more headaches. There was more micromanaging. There was more issues that I wasn't doing like they wanted me to do it, and it was making me
Yeah,
sick to wanna go to work every day. And I was so, so, so kinda happy that we parted and went our separate ways, and I just said, "Never again will I do it for the money," because I did it for the money, because I wanted to be making 6 figures. But I had no
yeah.
clue that making 6 figures came with some six-figure headaches, and so
Now
I did it.
let me ask you this. How many how many celebrities have or artists with all the money that they have were unhappy? You all of a sudden hear about how unhappy they are or what happened, some incidents that they took their own lives. So, that wasn't real living.
Well, let's look at
That
Michael
wasn't real.
Jackson. The Michael Jackson
Yeah,
alone, he was the king of pop, and the man couldn't
that's
sleep.
it.
He couldn't
That's it.
rest. He
Couldn't
could not rest.
come
So he
on.
wasn't living, he was existing for
He
people.
was only existing. You know,
Wow.
I brought this up in a life coaching session, and I asked this person, what do you do every day? What do you do?" Because she felt like she was stuck. Well, I just
Mm,
get up and I get ready and I go to work, and then I say, okay, and what else? And then I come home and I'll go to church, and then I'll go back to bed. Oh, okay. So you don't fill your days up with life. You're just merely existing. So you get up, go to work, come home, go to church,
that's
come
it.
home, go to bed. That's
That's
it.
it. That's it.
That's not
Yeah,
real.
right.
You're
Cecilia
merely
Yeah, Cecilia just said the friends that I know of who are living on the farm are probably healthier than us. All that fresh food every day. Absolutely, because they're growing their vegetables and they're taking the animals that they have, they're taking it to get it processed because they know what they're feeding their animals, and so they wait till they get a
Yes.
certain age and size, and then they go get it processed, and they're living so much more healthier. And when I looked at their whole farm, they built a house for their mother to live there as well. The daughter has her RV camper living there as well. So they believe
Wow.
in, the family being together in this environment. So I want to know, could we ever can we ever stop measuring success by other standards and live off the grid if we had to? Because I feel sorry for people that don't know how to live off the grid. Now, when I'm talking about living off the grid, I'm talking about the
Yeah.
people that don't know how to take a meal and get some black eyed peas and some
Come,
rice and some
come
smoked
through.
turkey or smoked neck bones and make
Through.
that thing stretch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay,
Yes.
I know people don't know how to do this, so that lifestyle that we had coming up, you best to believe when I get in my kitchen, mama done showed me how to make it happen in that kitchen
Yeah.
with just some
Yeah.
beans and rice and smoked turkey or smoked neck bones. I know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So if you ever had to live off the grid, because what's going to happen is there's going to come a time, because believe what I'm saying, it's going to come a time where they're not going to be able to have or afford the things that they're using now, these fast foods restaurants and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
There's going to come time when
Yeah.
that is no longer be accessible. So how
Yes.
many people are going to really be able to exist or live without that if it ever came back to being that way again?
You know, when he brought that up, the first scripture that came to my mind was when God said, "I will that you prosper in health, even as your soul prospers." So
Yes.
she's correct. You're correct. That's
Yes.
part of us prospering.
Yes.
I've
Yes.
heard of this farmer. Well, one guy was not even a farmer. He just started a whole garden in the whole entire neighborhood
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
many
Exactly.
blocks. And people would
Exactly.
go to this in Detroit or Chicago, people would just go, they come, they fill their little bags up, and that's it. He just
Mm,
wants the whole community to be healthy. But we have to be healthy physically. This is real living, part
here
of
we
real
go.
living.
Here we go.
Being
Physically. Yeah.
physically healthy, mentally healthy, spiritually healthy.
You got to have that.
And you said last show, financially healthy.
And financially healthy. That's right. Where you don't have
We
to
have to
have.
be healthy in all those areas.
Right. Right.
Those are
Because
areas we can bless others in.
I have a mindset now of wanting to make sure, and this is my mindset and this is my goal, because you have to speak these things into existence. And I
Come
set this out,
on.
and I hope people are taking notes of this. My mindset now, and it's not no New Year's resolution because I don't believe in that. I'm doing it now. I'm going to have 6 months of my rent or mortgage saved up in a case of an emergency, that if something happens where you can't work, then I'm going to have an account that I don't touch for if I need repairs on my car or anything like that. That's going to be set up.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine told me how to do
Yeah.
this. She was telling me how to do this as well. And then you have that budget, you have that other account where you budget
Yeah.
out how much you're going to allot yourself to spend that week, whether it's $100 for that week, if you wanted
Yes.
to, or if you don't want to have it, it's still there. So it's
Yes.
all about changing our mindset of thinking. I don't need a brand new car because I'm going to
Come
pay off
on.
my 2021, and that's going to be
Come
it
on.
for a while. I'm going to pay
Come
that thing
on.
off. That thing is going to get paid off
Yeah.
this year. I'm speaking. And if y'all want to see how that happens, y'all stay tuned to the
Amen.
Embracing Community podcast, because mark this calendar. Here it is, Sunday, July 13th. I'm telling you, by this time next year, my car is going to be paid off. That 2021 car is paid
Amen.
off. And I'm going to tell you how much I owe. You want to know how much I owe? You got to keep following the show to find out how much I owe, so we can talk about that on another show. But no, it's about changing the way you think. Changing the way you think. So, what would life look like if we stop measuring our success to other standards? Retirement, reality for the middle class, seniors, and veterans. there's going to come a time there's no more middle
Yeah,
class. It's going to be the rich
that's
and it's
right.
going to be the poor. The middle class is
Absolutely.
going out the window.
That's
It's
it.
going away. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
It's going to be the rich
Yes.
or the poor. Now, what
That's
I like about
right.
some people that I come in contact, you would never know that they're millionaires because they're not walking around dressing like some of our people in our culture feel that they need to wear all this chains and cars and having all of this stuff. I know millionaires that
Yeah.
you would never know that they were millionaires because of their
Yeah.
thinking. So,
Yes, because thinking. I found this. I found these several quotes from Steve Jobs before he passed away.
oh
He
yes, yeah,
quoted them 4 hours before he passed. Uh, he died a billionaire at 56, right? Of pancreatic cancer. And this is what he said. I only took 3 points. He said, I took so much pride in having paled and become meaningless in the face of impending death. He took
wow,
pride in what he's already, in what he accomplished and all of that until he had to face death. Then he
until he
said,
had to face
material
it.
things lost can be found. There is one thing that can never be found when it is lost, and that's life.
That's life. That's
He
right.
also said, whichever stage in life we are at right now, with time, we will face the day when the curtain comes down.
That's right.
That curtain will come down on everybody.
That's right.
And
That's
I
right.
can imagine standing in front of the throne and the Lord asking me as if he didn't know, what have you done for me? What have you done for me?
Right.
Well, I've done all this and I've accumulated this and I've accumulated that and I gave some, to the poor. I made some donations and I pay my tithes. What have you done for me?
Mm.
We need to start
Especially,
asking ourselves this question
yeah.
now.
And that reminds me of Cecilia on here. She said she left corporate to follow
Yes.
what was in her spirit woman and started educating. So she has done a job
Mama.
that God had called her to do. And so when she
Yeah.
stands before the Lord, I believe it because I know her spirit is about these kids. I've listened to her stories. I've listened to everything that she said, and my heart goes out to any educator today because they're different people than you and I. They put their heart into it, and sometimes they come home crying because they see the condition of some of these children coming to school.
I
So
I
I
have
get it.
I have a message for Cecilia
She's watching.
while while you were talking. Miss Cecilia, your heart is there. I imagine you have a pure heart. I imagine you have drive, endurance, and perseverance. And everything that God has already equipped you with. Start your own school. And you can
Ooh,
start small. It doesn't have to be big and over the top at first.
start your own school.
God before you, who can be against you, regardless of what T is doing now, the education. Take it up, bring it to yourself, pull it into yourself, because you have a heart for children. I have a heart for children too. Start your own school.
And she can start that in a library. She can hold
Yes.
a class session in a library at
But
any given time.
over the
Woo!
top.
She's shouting over here. I don't know if y'all can see her. She over here shouting. So I challenge anybody on here. There's some people watching that's being real quiet and sit back saying amen. There are so many people that have so many ideas and really don't know how to start. And it's a part of allowing them to live. Once you start doing what God has called you to do or what's burning inside of you to do, whether you're a believer or you're not a believer, because I got a show coming up here on July 27th. and I'm talking to a good friend of mine, my coworker Brittany
man.
Blackman. She's the part of the LGBTQ community, and this person is such a good heart. I mean, I love her. No judgment
Mhm,
zone, because I'm so sick and tired of people judging about a person's lifestyle and instead of who
mhm,
they are. But I'm gonna have a show with her. When I
mhm.
tell you she has a heart of gold. But how many people will start doing the things that you're passionate about? That's why this started
Come on.
here. This Embrace It Community
Oh,
podcast started because this is my passion, along with
yeah,
chaplaincy. See, I don't have to be in
yeah,
the congregation. Don't get me wrong. I love the church and going in there and giving God praise, but I'm about the community. That's why this is the Embrace It
yeah,
Community
yeah,
podcast, because I'm ready to meet the people who are turned away and tired of the church, and they're not living and
yes,
they
yeah.
want to live. And so I'm about those people who want to live. I'm about that. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
this is good. This
Let's
is good. I
real
got a
life.
friend of mine that's on here now, Faye Armstead. Faye Armstead and I, we were in public school together back in Brooklyn, New York, PS 67. And it's so good to see her as well. There's so many people that's
Well,
tuning in. This is really good. So let's talk about real living. Now we touched on what it is. It's all about what your passion is, and that's when you can start to live, right? Am I
yes,
wrong? Correct me. Anybody in the chat can
we
throw in the chat room.
have.
Chat, let's talk about this. Chat it up. Chat it up. Are you living by doing the things that you're passionate about? Are you living? I am. I know
And
I am.
there's so many that are not. There's so it is so sad to me. It really is. It's sad.
It's sad.
We
It's sad.
walk, as I said before, we're walking around on this earth that God created with abundance in the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. She's freezing up. Her
We're
service is
still
freezing
trying
up.
to find our own enjoyment to fill this
Yeah.
big hole that we have in us, trying to fill it up with unnecessary things and things that just really don't even matter. If you
Mm.
really do, if you're doing it to yourself, if you're doing it for yourself, if you're doing it by yourself, then you're not living well. You're not living well because that's not what life. Listen, everybody need to really dig up what is life.
What is
What
life?
does life consist of? What does life look like? What
Right.
does living look like? It's more than just going from paycheck to paycheck. I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to feed my family. I got the kids need shoes. School's coming up. All of that is just blah, 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 blah. It's just running.
That's what it sounds like, right? Because you're doing it. Yeah, you sound like you're on this constant wheel of get up, go to work, come home, go to bed, get up, go to work, come home, go to bed, get up, go to work, come home, go to work, and then you go to church, then you do the same thing. That's
Got-
it,
And
and you're not
most,
living.
you know what life starts to me. Life starts with learning how to breathe. That sounds so simple. But let me tell you what God showed me. We are billions of people walking around on this earth
Billions.
and don't really know how to breathe. I'm talking about inhaling slowly and exhaling slowly. Do that 3 times and it's going to calm everything down in you. But we always go, this, oh, I got to get, no, remind me to do, no, okay, just wait just a minute. I'll get to
Right,
you just
right, right,
every day.
right,
All
right.
got a
All
meeting,
day, every day.
got a meeting over there.
Yeah. Did you see my post last Thursday when I went live? And I was in Kroger supermarket.
The grocery store, yeah.
Yeah, and I said, and I'm looking at the people, and everybody, like you said, they're just living. They just look like robots, and they go like this.
Yeah.
So everybody's existing, but nobody's living. I said, I want to see how many people I can get to say good morning. But
Yeah.
everybody spoke and said good morning. I was very
They
surprised.
they did.
So where did that go? Yeah.
They
Shan says, moving to Texas, I have met mind like people that enjoy acting, and I truly believe Father God placed me here because He knew that it was a passion that I suffocated years ago as my singing. Okay, I'm trying to read without my glasses. Okay, and so it happened so fast, and now I have been asked to cast an upcoming movie. Okay, so Shan, who's on here, she is a singer, she is a actor, and she does all of this stuff, and she's on here now saying that I moved to Texas because she had met mind-like people that enjoy acting and truly believe in Father God and that Father God placed me here. Shan, listen, listen. I was
How come
told that, I look like Tyler Perry. So if you need somebody to stand in, doing them acting scenes, I'm ready to act. So don't forget about your boy over here. Over here, all right? Let me know and I'll be a part of this. So I love it. I love it that people have passions about making movies and they're doing it. And I think on Tubi, I think we talked about it. Shan and I, we talked about it. And she's been a part of that. So there are people in here that they are making it happen. So practical. Let's talk about let me see here, some practical financial wisdom that I want to leave you because this is so good. We run out of time. Financial wisdom. Okay. Living
okay?
below your means, regardless of your level income. Get in that mind frame of living below your means,
That's
regardless of what your income is. So if you're making, let's say, $100,000 a year, can you budget your life off of $80,000 a year? If you can't, get with a financial advisor. I guarantee you that you can. I know
hey,
one of my weaknesses. One of my weaknesses is Amazon. I'm a gadget man. I got to stay off of Amazon. So investing in experiences and relationships over possessions. So experiences like Shan is doing and relationships over possessing things is key. Planning for healthcare and long-term care needs. Now, we see these advertisements and commercials about long-term care and healthcare. You better pay attention and find out where you're going to need to be here within the
yeah,
next 10 to 20 years. Understanding the true cost of keeping up an appearance. What does that mean? Keeping up an appearance, understanding what does that mean? So what you don't have red bottoms, so what you don't have a Michael Kors bag. Are
come
you
on,
living?
come on.
I heard somebody say, the ignorant person is the person with a Michael Kors bag or a Louis Vuitton bag, and all they got in there is $20 in the bag.
Come
That's
on.
all they have to their name, but they want to show that I got a designer bag. So,
Come-
uh, relationship priorities, investing in intergenerational connections, intergenerational connectings, building support
Yes,
networks before you need them. Got to build. We used to have the support systems. Like I said, we had certain people that we can talk to and go to if we need support. Not so much financially, but just mental support, counseling, and talking to those people. Choosing depths
yeah,
over breadths in friendship, serving others as a source of purpose. That's with the children in the schools and doing those things. But we have to keep in mind if you can keep only three things that will make life meaningful, what would that be? What would that be?
keep
If
up
you can only
with
keep three
things that.
things, what
Hmm.
would that be? Put it in the chat. If you only were able to keep three things that make life meaningful to you, what would they be? Things, not children, not family, not kids. Three things. That's a
Hmm.
good question. Makes you think.
That's a good question.
Makes you think about it. What three things would you keep to make your life meaningful?
Three
So,
things.
yeah, I'm gonna leave that right there. So, and some people
Yeah,
gonna have to
that's a
shoot me an email, but that we never thought about it. If we had to
no.
only choose three things to make this life meaningful, what would that
What
be? You want to
would
know what it
that
would
be?
be for me?
Actions too,
Huh?
or
Would that be one?
that include actions, or you talking about things like things, not in action, or something that you do, something that you would love to continue to do.
You know what I'm thinking about? You know, the
What?
first thing that came to my mind, my right mind.
Woo! Oh boy, yeah.
Let me keep my right mind. And I always said, I don't want my body to outlive my mind. But that's one of the
My,
things I
my,
ask
my,
for.
my.
Let me keep my mind.
Let me keep my mind. I would love to keep my mind, keep my creativity, um, and keep a pure heart,
A pure heart. That's good. That's
able to
another good one.
accomplish what God has
Yeah.
called me to do.
Yvonne George said that's a hard one, but a lot of people don't. We don't think about
It
this.
is.
God, Cecilia said, God, mental and physical health. See, that's a good one. But these are the
Yeah.
things we don't think about because we're so busy trying, living, existing, but we're not living. And if
Come
it
on.
ever came down to it, you had 30 seconds to answer that question.
Wow. That's
What are the
good.
three things that you would keep to make life meaningful? And what would they be? 30 seconds. And a lot of people would not be able to answer that. First thing they would
Wow.
be like, wait a minute. But my dog, right. See, right. And then Shan said health, planning, garden, peace. Yes. Yes. I love all three of those. My health,
That peace.
planning that garden so I can eat my own vegetables growing there, and my peace so that
And
when I step in my
peace.
house, no matter what size it is, I
My,
got peace
whatever
in
is
my house.
outside in the world,
Come
Lord,
on.
that
Come on.
peace.
Let's think, people. This is why I had this topic discussion because these are the things that we don't think about when we look at social media. We're so busy watching what's going on,
Yes.
listening to the news, wondering what it's going to be like. How are we
Yes.
going to get there? What is this going to look like? I need this. I need that. But have you ever thought about what real living looks like? God, mental
That's
and physical health, Cecilia said also. So here's a call to action. There's a call to action I want to do because I always run out of time and I love these topics. I might have to bring this one back again. We might have to do this again. So here's a call to action. Have an honest conversation about retirement planning with family. Have that conversation. You got to have it because we got to see what this looks like. We need to know. Then connect with your local support groups. If you have, I'm a veteran, so I'm constantly talking to the Department of VA about retirement and what this is going to look like. And then examine your own Jones comparison. What do you got going on in your life that you're comparing to the Joneses?
come on now.
What you got going on?
Come on.
Because personally, me, I stopped. It don't even matter to me. Like, I made a vow. I said, I'm not buying Nike shoes anymore. First of all, I can't find none that's comfortable enough for me. So I found so much comfort in all these other brands that's out here, like Skechers. They look good. They look just as
Don't do
comfortable.
nothing for me. No name
So,
brand, nothing.
you know,
It do anything for me.
and here's one thing I want people to do before y'all leave me today. It's 6:58 here. I want you to identify one way to invest in real relationships this week. Invest
Whew,
in
that's
real
a whole nother,
relationships.
yeah,
That's
that's
what
a
I
whole
want
nother
people
topic.
to do. That's a whole nother
Yeah,
topic. Okay,
it
here's
is.
chances. I have one more thing that I would keep and definitely learn as well. What is that, Shan? Go ahead, put it in here. I said three, but she's going to put that in there. But there's so much that we don't think about. We don't think about these
Yeah,
things. But I wanted to bring this conversation up just to make people stop and think for a minute. Stop
yeah,
and think. Why are
yeah.
we living? What do we need to live? And
What are
how
you
are we
here for?
going to live? What are we here
Yeah,
for? What are we here
yeah.
for?
What are we here for?
Right. Margaret, how can people reach you as well? Let everybody know how they can reach you because you're a life coach. You're a spiritual life coach. How can they reach you?
Yes, sir. They can reach me at peppermintforlife@gmail.com or artist M. Cooper at gmail.com. There we go. My number is 682-244-8458. And just reach out to me. You can DM me. I am on Facebook.
Okay.
DM me if you have questions or, you know, I also have some other life coaching.
Okay. Okay. So there are those ways to reach her. Peppermint Life Coaching. There's a phone number there. I have other life coaches on as well. I also tell people if you're really struggling with some things mentally, also tap into your employee program, the EAP program, and they have so many different avenues and tools to tap into to help you out. Anything that you're struggling financially, mentally, physically, there's help. There's
That's
alone. No one's alone in this walk, and this is why I'm here. It would bother my heart and my soul to find out that someone felt defeated after they got finished watching the Embracing Community podcast, because I'm here to help, and I want to help people in this whole journey. So please make sure that you reach out to us and let us know how we can help you. We're here every week with a live show, but there's the email address, email embracingcommunitypodcast@gmail.com, and email me there. We'll talk about it in private, because what we talk about in private stays private. Let's see. Don't forget to follow me as well on YouTube. I need you to spread the word. Let people know. If you like this, follow us on there as well. Online.rain.org is another chat line session for if you're dealing with anything mentally. There, you can tap into online.rain.org. This is a crisis support hotline for people that needing help, that need to help and figure this thing out, because they're no longer living, they're existing, and they're at the end of their rope. But if you are at the end of your rope, do me a favor, tie a knot in it and hold on. It's going to get better. Listen to what I'm saying. You're looking at a man that didn't have anything but an air mattress and 3 bags, black bags, with my underwear, my undershirts, and my socks in it. I'll never forget, that's how I all started. And sometimes didn't have a paycheck, didn't have anything. But God kept me because I stayed closer to him. Even when I thought I was going to lose my mind, he kept me. He kept me throughout all of this. So I have a testimony. I do have a testimony. So make sure that you continue to follow and watch us. We love y'all. We love y'all because we love ourselves. And this is why we're here. Thank y'all so much for watching tonight. Thank y'all for staying. Thank y'all for chiming in with the chats. I love this. If you want to hear more of this, let me know. Let us know, because we want to serve you in the community. And if you have someone that needs some type of mentoring or something that they need in their life, please feel free to reach out to me. We can get them help. We can't help if you're not saying I need help, because I had to say help at one point in time in my life. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe, rate and reviews the podcast, and join us in the community on social media. Like I said, this conversation here. Don't forget about Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee. That's a way that you can donate towards this cause. Buy Me a Coffee. Jot that down. Send the link for that. Buy Me a Coffee. Go there. And like I said, you can $2 buy a cup of coffee. And it goes towards this podcast right here. It goes to help keep it going, because this can be costly, but I'm investing in me. And so God has been providing a way for me to do this. You can always find us on Facebook. Margaret, she's always on Facebook. We are on Facebook, inspiring, moving, motivating people every day. So if you ever need us, you know where to follow us. Please follow us and let us know that you like what you see and what you're listening to. All right. Anything before we go? Margaret, you got anything for the peoples? You want to say anything to the people?
Let's encourage people just to do good, because God is.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. We love you. We love you all. Thank you all again for watching. Thank you all for joining in. Until we see y'all again, remember, I love you because I love myself. So y'all take care. I'm out of here.
Thank you for listening to Embrace It, the community podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Follow the community podcast page on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Please like and share the podcast with your community circle.